As of recording this, it's August 4th. It's getting kind of late. I'm not going to edit this tonight and get it up, but wanted to give an update on the first 4 days of the writing challenge. So on day one, if you haven't seen the video, I rejoined a short story that I had not really, I started, and I got to the last scene, which is the bulk of the story is in the last scene, and so it's not like I was, like half a page from finishing. I just gave up. I got to the last scene, and that's when training for the agency started, and I have not done a lot of writing in the last year, unfortunately. So I'm getting back to it, and day one, I hit that last scene pretty hard. I thought it was going great. For the last 2 days, I've been doing writing on a more personal matter, more personal correspondence, and it's considerably more important than like an email or something. So it's not something that I could just kind of whip out. It was something that I was going to have to probably revise a few times, and I have revised it a few times. So, but today I got back to the story, and I don't know if you've ever been in the situation where you've like come back to a project that you got part of the way through like a long time ago, and you weren't really sure where you left off, and so that's kind of what's going on here. But this is a project that I've been thinking a lot about over the last year, like a lot, and so I know the plot really, really well, and I know the characters really, really well, and so it was not any problem for me to just dive right into it. But today, as I was scrolling down to get to the end, I noticed that the spacing on one section was kind of off, and so I had not reread the story on Monday. I just picked it up where I left off, and so when I was looking at it today, I reread that section, and I realized that I hadn't finished the second to last scene either. I didn't realize that. Basically, what I had done was I had some just very clear ideas that were scattered throughout the scenes, and so I jotted those down and left space for me to fill in the gaps in between. Except I hadn't gotten to those gaps, and so like Monday I was working on a later section when I really needed to go back and hit that. So that was a little bit frustrating. I wasn't as far along with it as I thought I was, but at the same time, I was able to flesh out that scene a little bit and deal with a character who's not in the last scene, but who I really like, and so I got to play with him a little bit more, and so things are coming along. I didn't work on the last scene at all today. It's like I said on the first. It's going to be one of those things that the last scene's got to play out. It's a long conversation in a bar, and it's got to get from point A to point B, and point A and point B are a good distance apart. And I tell you what, the most challenging thing as a writer in situations like that is to get these characters to move naturally from point A to point B. And that's especially frustrating when those points are a lot apart, because what you want to do is say, guy A says hello, guy B says hello, and then they talked for an hour, and then guy A said, you're a jerk, but you can't do that. That's really bad writing, and you're doing this emotional shift that the reader's not going to be able to follow you on. And so point A and point B in this scene is quite a distance away from each other. So what I was doing on the first was trying to start bridge that gap. And I have no idea how long it's going to take. That's the other challenge in that is, you can write 50 pages of dialogue, and maybe it's even good, but it's going to be boring. You've got to be able to take the reader on that emotional journey at the same time that you're not boring them. And so that's gonna take some tinkering. That's not something that you just, or at least I don't nail on the first try. Um, normally, normally I have to go back over a scene like that several times to um, really kind of flesh out the parts that I need to flesh out and cut away the fat of it, so that it's not just going on too long. Um, so that's the challenge here. I know how it ends. In fact, the last two paragraphs are already written. They were written a year ago, and I played a little bit with those today, but they're good, and so I'm anxious to reach that point, and so we'll just chisel away at it. Hopefully, tomorrow I'll be able to do another couple hundred words. It is getting more challenging the closer I get to my Series 6 exam, which is Thursday of next week. And so y'all can be praying for me for that. But the closer we get to that, the more time I have to spend on that. And so, um, if it is going to come down to doing one or the other, I've got to do the Series 6. Um, but hopefully we'll be able to balance them. So thanks for watching.